Unity Center of New York. This is Daniel Namhod. I'm sitting here in my home in Orange County, California, 3,000 miles away, and still I get to sing for you. It's a miracle. I am excited to share some songs with you today. This first song is a song I wrote while at home with our little baby boy back when he was about 2. He's now 8. And I was feeling stirred up by the news. And I don't remember what the news was back then, but it probably would seem quaint now. So I have a feeling you might relate to this song, and I certainly still feel it. Here we go, a song called Unjaded. To dream out loud. Just being human made me proud. Now I throw my hands up in the air from disillusion and despair. My heart has taken such abuse. I've used my hurt as my excuse. It's like my hope has disappeared behind the shadow of my fear. And I wonder why they say that aging thins the skin. Then I remember I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong, can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in, yeah. It's time to live again. I am unjaded. Oh, what if you have to fall to grow? I've fallen hard enough to know. So what if life's not fair? Doesn't mean that I'm too cool to care. Believing right will win. Then I remember I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in, yeah. It's time to live again. Would I live with my heart closed? What kind of man would I be? What kind of world will I be creating if I can love with all of me? If I just love with all of me? I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything on my own. I can right one wrong, I can sing one song. I don't need to do everything. I am only one, but I am not alone. I don't need to do everything, no. I can right one wrong or sing one song. I don't need to do everything. It's time to dive back in, yeah. It's time to dive back in. Oh, it's time to live again. I am unjaded. Whoa, unjaded.
Thank you, Daniel. What a wonderful message that is for us. We can do what we can do. We don't have to do everything. Perfect for this time, isn't it, folks? Welcome to this Unity Center of New York City live stream service. I'm Justin Epstein, author of the top-selling book Super You and minister of the Unity Center. We're so glad you're joining us today. And we're happy to have as our guest musicians today, Daniel Namhod and also Sue Riley. Welcome back, Daniel and Sue. And now we're going to get started with a little singing. So encourage you to sing, get the juices flowing, and it's a great message that we're going to be singing. I Know Who You Really Are, led by Sue Riley. So here we go. Let's get going and do some singing.
This song has a fun little chorus. I invite you to sing along once you get it. It goes like this. I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes, a light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. You're here to be the one. You're here to make it fun. You've really got my head spinning. You brighten every room. You always leave too soon, and this is just the beginning. Oh, I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. You are incredible, so unforgettable, the one that everyone's eyeing. You are an awesome friend, and so magnificent, and there is just no denying. Oh, I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you really are. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue, for leading us in that song. A few community highlights for you today. First of all, appreciate you liking us on Facebook. That will help us reach more people. And also feel free to follow the Justin Epstein Facebook page as well. On our Facebook page, you'll receive the latest Sunday service video, and you'll also have access to be able to schedule. Every Friday, you can schedule a reminder about the upcoming live stream service that happens every Sunday at 11 a.m. Also, you'll be notified about weekly videos that I do live during the week and meditations. On the Facebook page, you'll see a Learn More button, which will take you to the Unity Center website, where you can also watch the live stream service. You can watch this service on YouTube. If you will go to YouTube, put in Justin Epstein in the search bar, then you'll be taken to our YouTube channel, where you can, when you subscribe there, you'll have access to all kinds of inspirational videos. We hope you will enjoy them. Also, if you go to our Unity Center website, unitycenternyc.com, you can watch the live stream there. Just click the live stream button. If you will enter your email, you can receive a newsletter every week that will give you updates of what's happening, as well as inspirational quotes and other neat stuff. So just go there and put your email at the Unity Center NYC website. If you miss a live stream or any of the live videos that are posted during the week, you will have access to them on our Facebook and YouTube pages for now. We hope you will enjoy them. So we'd like to take a moment now to bless the donations and gifts and tithes, and we appreciate your support of this ministry. So what we'd like to do is just bring to mind the gifts that we'd like to give today. We acknowledge the spiritual principle that as we give, we receive in life, that a key to prosperity is for us to be a giver in every area of our life. And we know that you have a choice as to where you give and who you support. And we know that we appreciate your support of this ministry. So let's take a moment now and bless these donations and gifts. And we send them forth to do their good work and to return to us abundantly in every area of our life. For as the way shower Jesus the Christ taught, give and you shall receive. We receive in healing, in vitality, in financial prosperity, in harmony and love in relationships, in every area of our life. So join me in blessing these gifts, knowing divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is. Amen. And now we're going to prepare for a guided meditation. And we like to enter a meditation time by singing a song that's kind of repetitive, that gets our mind focused on God, on Source. And in this case, Daniel's going to lead us in Get Ready, My Soul. So let's get our soul ready. Get your soul ready to get quiet and still and open up to that power and that presence that's inside of you. So here we go.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, I'm singing, get ready, my soul. Diving in, I'm diving in the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, the sweetest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
I invite you now to Find a comfortable place to be still and quiet, whether you're sitting on a couch or in a chair, and make sure you're sitting upright. We want to sit upright so the energy can flow up toward the spiritual eye. Jesus said, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body will be filled with light." If you need to put a pillow behind your back to help support you, then please do that. And so first we're going to relax the body, bringing our awareness to the feet, to the calves, to the thighs, sending the message, relax and let go. Relax and let go. Let your abdomen and stomach relax. Relax the muscles in your chest. Just sending the thought, relax, relax. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your hands. Relax the muscles in your back, upper, middle, lower. Relax your neck, the front, the back, the sides. Relax the muscles in your face, sending the thought, relax, relax. Let go, relax. See if you can feel your cheeks relaxing, your eyes, your forehead, your lips, your tongue, your whole face. From the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. Letting go, relaxing. You're able to relax your body because you are not your body. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You have a body. And the you that has a body can learn to become the master of your body. You can learn to work with your body. Take care of it. Give your body what it needs. Listen to it. But all the while realizing that the body is an instrument. It's a temple in which you live. But you are not your body. You are awareness. You are consciousness. We let the body relax, and I invite you to scan your body again, and if there's still any place that needs to relax, you might want to just gently tense and release that part of your body and relax. You are not your mind. You have a mind. Sometimes we might think, gee, my mind is upset. You're not upset. Your mind is upset. There's something in you that knows that your true nature is peace and happiness, which is why you know, gee, I'm just not myself today. My mind is upset. You are not your emotions. You're not your thoughts. You're not your mind. You have emotions. You have thoughts. And you can observe those thoughts and those emotions. You don't have to get lost in them. You don't have to identify with them. You can observe them and watch them pass, just like waves or clouds in the sky, watching clouds floating by. You can observe your thoughts. You can observe your emotions, passing through without identifying with them. Yes, feeling them, being aware of them, but not getting lost in them. You are consciousness. You are awareness. You are the witness, or you can be. You can, as the Buddhists say, remain seated in self, not getting pulled into emotions and thoughts, but being able to witness and observe yourself, so that truly you realize that you are transcendent to your body, to your thoughts, to your emotions. You are the transcendent self. You are spirit expressing as you. You are the super self, or as I like to say, super you. You are super you. God expressing in and as you. Jesus called it the Christ. So let's take a few moments now to just be receptive to that transcendence of us, that pure consciousness, that spirit that we are, connected with the infinite. Be still now. From this place of stillness, from this place of receptivity to our divine nature, we expect good to unfold through our life. We affirm that God's guidance is continually guiding and directing us. We affirm that healing is working through our mind and our body. We trust that Source is providing us with creative ideas, with opportunities, that help of all kinds are coming in our direction, unfolding through us and into our life. And we know the same truth for friends and family and for all people everywhere. And we are so grateful for this realization. And we bring our awareness now back to the body, back to the place where you're sitting, wiggling toes, wiggling fingers, letting our eyes adjust to the lighting. And so it is. Amen.
an ordinary day. In an ordinary life, there's beauty all around me. Sometimes all I see is black and white. Just going through the motions, life just passing by. Drifting in a daydream, wishing I'd wake up from this emptiness inside. But there are moments, where magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, where the wonder of the world is all I see. The first breath of the morning, whispers in my ear. She says, you've got it all inside you. Will you know it in your heart when it appears? For there are moments when magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, when the wonder of the world is all I see. This dance of possibilities to the rhythm of my destinies won't let me slip into my old routines. But there are moments, where magic happens unexpectedly. There are moments, precious moments, where the wonder of the world is all I see. There are moments.
Thank you, Sue Riley. Certainly there are magic moments that unfold in our life when we are in tune. There are a lot of strident opinions about whether to wear a mask or not, and I'll say more about that later. What I really want to talk to you about today is that we all wear masks at times, independent of whether that mask is made of cloth or not. Oh, yes. When I was growing up, I was very quiet and kind of withdrawn, living in my apartment with my mother and stepfather, well, our apartment. I was more like my stepfather, I guess, just sort of quiet. Sometimes I was irritable because my mom was an extrovert, and she would talk constantly, and she wanted constant attention, and it became draining, and I just couldn't give it to her all the time. Neither could Henry, and we would sort of turn off to some degree, you know? And yet, in school, in high school, for instance, I was very outgoing. I was still kind of quiet, but I was friendly. I was, witty, and one teacher described me as personality plus. When I went to college, I started to become confused. I started to wonder, what was the real me? You know how people talk about just be yourself. Well, I wasn't sure which self I was supposed to be. Was I the quiet, reserved, and sort of boring fellow at home? Was I the outgoing, witty, lighthearted guy in school? And I struggled. As I shared before, I just was going through a pretty tough relationship issue, and that brought up negativity and repressed that more lighthearted person that I was before that as well. So I remember asking a professor, Dr. Rollman at James Madison University, I was commenting in a class about what does it mean to be yourself? And his comment was, well, we have many different selves. I didn't know what he was talking about. An unknown author said, within my earthly temple, there's a crowd. There's one of us that's humble and one that's proud. There's one who's brokenhearted for his sins. There's one who unrepentant sits and grins. There's one who loves his neighbor as himself. There's one who cares for naught but fame and self. For much perplexing care I would be free if I could just determine which is me. We wear many masks. The word personality comes from the Latin word persona, which means a mask. In ancient Greece, when actors were playing a role, they would literally wear a plaster mask to signify what kind of character they were. If they were a tragedy, a tragic character, that's the kind of mask they would wear. If they were a comedy, that's the kind of mask they would wear. So they were either a tragedian or a comedian, depending on the mask that they wore. Shakespeare made the sage observation that all the world's a stage and all we, the players on it. We play many roles. We wear many masks. People wear a mask to be likable and socially acceptable. We say to little children, be good now. Don't misbehave. Be good. So those children put on the mask of good behavior because the neighbors are coming over. We don't want them to know how our children really behave. I remember one year, my brother and I went to Hebrew school. So did my sister. And one day my brother came running home, shouting, the rabbis are coming, the rabbis are coming, hide the ham. We had a surprise visit from the rabbis, and the ham got hidden. You know, we put on the mask of religiosity. And many people do that in religion. Perhaps for many, going to church or synagogue or another place of worship is more about being seen and the respectability. Whenever there's a political year, an election time, we find presidents going to church a lot. At least we have in the past. Somewhere they're going to a church. Sign of respectability. Now, Jesus got enraged with the Pharisees for the kind of behavior of just putting on a mask, a facade. He said that people pray to be seen of other men, or they sound their trumpets when they're giving their donations. Hypocrites, he called them. Now, the word hypocrite's an interesting word because basically it doesn't have the harsh denunciation that we seem to imply when we use the word today. Hypocrite referred to a masked player. The persona is the mask. The hypocrite is the one wearing the mask. So many, many years ago, the hypocrite was the actor. Now, we don't imply something negative of a person when we say he or she's an actor. But nowadays, people have taken on the superficiality that Jesus talks about of the people who pray to be seen. We wear certain masks for attention or to create a perception of ourselves that is kind of superficial and not real. And this is what has sort of taken on a negative connotation of being a hypocrite. Consider two people. One is the classic good housekeeper. He or she is in bondage to the home, following everybody around with a duster. One man said of his wife, "I'm afraid to get up in the night. She'll have the bed made when I return." This woman has a secret fear that someone will discover something out of order in her home. Now, the other person is what we call a relaxed homemaker. His home always has that lived-in look. But he too has a fear that someone will catch his place in the normal state of disarray. He's forever having to frantically straighten things up when someone is coming to visit because he says, "I certainly don't want them to think that my house always looks the way it always looks." Yes, putting on a mask is often something that people do to manage others' perceptions so that they'll be liked and to be socially acceptable. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what I am saying is let's be aware of it. I remember my mom sometimes, she'd be angry about something. "Don't you do that, and you should know that, blah, 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 blah." "Mom," the phone rings. "Mom, it's for you." "Hello?" We often type others based on the mask that they're wearing. There's a real popular golfer in the news this past week who has been he won a tournament and he got some criticism because in one of the rounds he hit a bad shot out of the sand. And the cameraman captured him angry and continued to follow him with the camera. Well, this golfer got upset with the cameraman. And he was asked, "Why did you get upset? What was going on?" And basically he was saying, we golfers get frustrated. Why capture us in such a negative state? It will hurt our brand. Bottom line, he was saying, I don't want people to see that negative mask. You know, we want to do well. We get frustrated sometimes. Show them the champion. Show them the positive guy, the good guy. And a lot of sports figures and celebrities and politicians and everyone else wants to be captured showing they're putting their best foot forward. Because people often type others based on the mask that they're wearing. Take, for instance, an actor. I saw some research a number of years ago where they said that we tend to believe that the actor is like the role they're playing. Humphrey Bogart, for instance, remember Casablanca? I love that movie. Honey, we'll always have Paris. I don't know if he said honey, but we'll always have Paris. Great movie if you haven't seen it. Anyway, he got typed as a rough, tough character. Well, he wasn't that at all. He was from an upper-class family, went to fashionable schools, and got dramatic experience on the stage. But once he got typed, couldn't seem to get out of that. Marketing and brand experts are always trying to put public figures and politicians in the best light that they can. They want to create an aura for a politician of leadership, decisiveness, strength, warmth. Well, not always the case with warmth these days, but certainly strength and decisiveness. And elections are won and lost based on these perceptions, which are often superficial masks. In high school, we were assigned a book. I think we were assigned this book. I ended up reading a book called The Making of a President. And it was all about how branding people helped Nixon win when he ran for president the second time. They helped shape his image. The first time didn't go so well because in the first time, he went into a debate with John F. Kennedy. And Nixon, when listened to by people on the radio, they thought he had won the debate. It was based on content, based on the arguments. That's all they knew. Whereas the TV audience watched Nixon and Kennedy, and Nixon was sweating. And I don't recall the detail exactly, but I think he might have had a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow from his previous engagements that day and so on. Didn't get a chance to shave. Whereas John F. Kennedy was tanned, he looked confident, wasn't sweating, and he won the debate. People who watched thought that Kennedy had won the debate. See, they shaped the perception of Nixon, and it worked. People will often accept others based on the mask they're wearing. Maybe not so much these days. Maybe people are a little more sophisticated these days. I remember years ago a friend telling me about a man in her community who was well loved and well respected in the community. But they later learned at home he was very abusive. He wasn't a nice guy. He just knew how to put on a mask that he wanted people to see. Recognize also that we tend to type ourselves by our masks. Someone is emotional, say. Maybe they're smiling and happy one moment, and then they're upset, angry another moment, or anxious or fearful another moment. And they say, I'm just not myself today. Well, who are you then? If you're not yourself, who are you? See, something in that person knows that they're not their moods. They're not their emotions. They know what it's like to be happy and peaceful, and they identify with that person. See, but it's so easy to identify with emotions. It's easy to identify with, I'm a weak person. Well, what do you mean you're a weak person? Well, because I just can't stand up to people. I can't express my views. I'm just a weak person. That's how they type themselves. Or they say, a person struggles with jealousy. Yeah, I just, every time I see or talk to someone, it just brings up feelings of jealousy. I'm just a jealous type of person. We're like Popeye. I am what I am, and that's all I am. Right? Or I'm a sickly person. What can I do about it? What am I going to do? I've always been sick. Always getting something. Get the flu. Just sickly. This is typing ourselves. And that's just the way it is. That's just who I am, people think. Well, the problem with that is if we believe that that's the kind of person we are, we're believing in the mask. We're believing that I am the weakness. We're believing that I am the sickness. We're believing that I'm just a broke person. I'm not creative. Whatever the label is. What are the labels that you sometimes catch yourself? Like, we can become very defensive about it because deep down we feel something. Maybe a person feels that they're stupid. And so they go out of their way to always try to be right, to show that they're not stupid, that they have good ideas, they have good opinions. See, because deep inside they believe the mask. Maybe their parents had told them, she's the bright one, but she's not so bright. Right? And they believe that. So they type themselves. Well, that can be really a limiting factor on our potential, on who we can really be. So will the real you, will the real me please stand up? I am what I am? No. I have to disagree with Popeye. Popeye, you're not always right. You're not always right. We love you, but you're not always right. You remember that show, To Tell the Truth? They would have, say, 3 people on the show, all claiming to be the same person. And they'd tell a story about the person, and then they'd have a panel of celebrities to try to ask those 3 people questions to figure out which one was the real one. One of the shows that you can see on the internet is a show where they had a Polish spy on the show. And so they were all trying to ask him questions to find out which one was the real spy. And so then at the end they go, will the real Paweł Manat, Polish spy, stand up? And then you find out which one is the real spy. Well, are you these emotions? Are you the body that's sick or riddled with pain? Are you weak and jealous? No. Let the real you stand up. Those might be roles you've been playing. Those might be masks you've been wearing. But according to the truth, the spiritual truth, you're a spiritual being. You are God living itself as you. As Emerson said, we are gods playing the fool. Playing the fool. We are wearing masks that act as bandages, he said. Yeah, you are God playing the fool. You are pure consciousness. You're not your feelings. You're not your mind. You're not your thoughts. You're not your body. You are the one living in the body who has emotions. You're the one living in the body that has a mind. You're the one living in the body that may choose to wear a mask, but you're not the mask. Think, for instance, about hardworking Joe. Joe is very conscientious. He works very hard. After all, there's a lot to do. He shows up on time. He gets there, actually gets to work early. He leaves late. He does his job. But other people aren't so hardworking. And he gets a bit resentful of those people. He thinks they're lazy. And what's going on here? It may be that Joe is wearing a mask. The mask comes from perhaps his early experiences with his dad or mother who might have told him that he wasn't going to amount to much, that he wasn't that bright, so he better really work hard to do anything with his life. And Joe accepted that. And so he's been working hard, working, never plays, never relaxes, always working. Well, that's not good for his health. That's not good for his happiness. But if he wakes up and discovers his real self and realizes, you know what? I'm not a stupid person. I'm a spiritual being. I'm a unique expression of God. I don't have to constantly work. I can take time off. I can rest. I can play. And in fact, that'll help my work. He can still feel conscientious. He can still value hard work, but not be identified with the role. You see? Not identify with the mask. And that's where freedom is. The actor doesn't identify with the mask or the role they're playing. They're free while playing the role. The problem is in real life, when an actor identifies totally with their profession. I'm an actor. I'm an actor. And there are actors who say, I believe in my career. I love my career more than anything else. It matters more than anything else. And then they're playing all these glamorous parts perhaps, but then as they get older, maybe they get some wrinkles. Maybe they're not getting the roles they used to play. And they could become devastated if that's all they identified with in their life. They've got to realize, no, it's a mask. It's a role you're playing. It's not you. You're not a father or a mother. There's a roles you're playing. The mother who identifies with being a mother, well, when the child goes away, what is she? Who is she? You know, so she calls up the child. How are you doing? Not necessarily that she cares so much. I'm sure she does, but it could be that, you know, she feels like a mother. She's got to be mothering. And when the child goes away, that can be devastating if all we've ever identified with is being a mother, the role. The vice president, who all his life or her life has been serving as the vice president, giving out orders, asking people to do stuff, getting things done, and then retires and no longer knows, who am I? I'm not a vice president. Who am I? People are no longer looking to him or her for direction, and they feel lost. That's identifying with the mask. But we're more than that. We're spiritual beings playing the role of school teacher. We're spiritual beings playing the role of therapist, playing the role of doctor, playing the role of an actor. See, it's a mask we're wearing, a role we're playing, but we're not it. And the mother who knows that, when the child leaves, she can play other roles. When the person from the executive retires, he or she can play other roles and be perfectly happy doing so. Play the role of volunteer, play the role of pursuing some other activity that's interesting. Wearing masks is sometimes necessary. When you know that you're a spiritual being and you're not your role, you're not your mask, then we can put on a mask because it's appropriate. Imagine going to a party, for instance. Everyone's happy and having fun. Well, it's kind of expected that you're going to be friendly, happy, and having fun. Maybe you've had a tough day. Maybe you don't feel like being happy and friendly. But you put on a mask because you don't want to ruin the mood of the party. You want to be part of the fun, and you want to have some fun. And the amazing thing is, when you put on a smile, you put on some cheerfulness, you start to feel more friendly and more cheerful. It just happens. Psychologists talk about the act as if principle, that you have control over how you act. And by acting happy and cheerful, you begin to feel more that way as well. It's not that you're being deceptive. You're not trying to put something over on someone. You're just wanting to be cheerful. You're wanting to be friendly. You're wanting to make others feel good. So you change your state consciously. Put on a different mask. You wouldn't go into a hospital where someone is recovering from an illness and see that person and go, "You look horrible. Oh my God." No. You would encourage that person. You would radiate positive energy. You would acknowledge that they're a spiritual being. They're not the mask of their body. We're not our bodies. We're not what's happening to the body. A little boy who was in a children's hospital for cancer, cute little guy, he helped to lighten up his mood and those around him. He would make farm noises, farm animal noises. Moo, buck, 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 buck. And the nurses would play along. They'd make noises back. Well, this little boy was a really smart kid. He said, "I have cancer. Cancer doesn't have me." He recognized that before anything else, he was a person. He was a person. A nurse is a person playing the role of a nurse. A salesman or salesperson is a person playing the role. An actor is a person playing the role. So sometimes it's necessary to put on a mask. I have a neighbor on my hallway. Her husband has recently been in a nursing home. I guess it's been a year now. And she uses a walker and so on. Very nice lady. And no matter when I see her, I find myself just being friendly and warm. And it doesn't matter how I feel. You know? It doesn't matter if I'm struggling with some challenge or maybe feeling sad about something. Not that that happens very often, but there have been times, and then I see her and automatically I put on her mask of friendliness, of warmth, of caring. And guess what? When you act that way, you start to feel that way. Why? Because it's not about, well, you're not being real, you're not being yourself. It's not about how I feel. It's about how she feels. It's about helping her to feel supported and appreciated. So when we're aware that we're not our masks, we're not our roles, then we can adopt an appropriate one for the situation, one that makes a difference for the other person. Sometimes masks are necessary. Lastly, let's seek to understand those who identify with their masks. I came across an article that quoted a professor of social and behavioral sciences about the strident opinions that people are having about whether to wear a mask or not during this pandemic. And bottom line, he says that what's happening is because of the virus and the pandemic, it feels so unfamiliar. And so therefore, people are clinging hard to whatever makes them feel safe in the moment. Because the fight or flight kicks in when we're feeling stressed, people are fighting the government mask ordinances because that gives them a sense of control in the unknown. And for some, many hopefully, feel a sense of control by wearing a mask, but others feel a sense of control by not wearing a mask. Perhaps understanding that can help us have a greater sense of understanding. And he says that because of this fight or flight, people get into what psychologists call hot cognition, where their powerful emotions override and erase the rational, cool thinking. And so we get emotional and we come up with reasons for why we're doing what we're doing. But really underneath, it's a need for control. It's a need to feel in control in this uncertainty. And so people come up with rational reasons like, it's my civil rights not to wear a mask. And there's other reasons that kind of make sense too, that we've gotten mixed messages about wearing masks. Some people have decided it's not worth wearing the mask. It's hot and who knows anyway. There are people who think that they're not going to get sick. They're young. They don't have to worry about it. There are others who are worried about they're going to look weak. In fact, President Trump, according to the AP, said that he doesn't want to wear a mask because it'll make him look weak and that he's given in to the fact that, that he's defeated or giving in to defeat instead of focusing on reopening. See, there are people who don't want to wear a mask because they're self-conscious and they are afraid it looks unmasculine or weak. And then there are those who are worried that it will ruin their tan. That's right. I came across an article about wearing masks in nudist colonies. Ronna Crozy from a nudist colony in northeastern Connecticut said the no tan lines is one of the things that we sort of pride ourselves on. Another big question that's come up in these nudist colonies was expressed in a nudist resort in Kissimmee, Florida, where the question was raised, if you're wearing a face mask, are you really nude? Important questions. So we can have a little more understanding of people who choose to wear masks or not wear masks. There was this man who grew up on the so-called wrong side of the tracks. And he had a mask of being hostile and aggressive. And that's how people saw him, because he had to have that to survive in the neighborhood that he grew up in. But what people didn't see is that when he was home alone, out of everyone's sight, he wrote poetry. There was a sensitive, soft side to this man. And as he began to understand himself as a spiritual being, that he didn't have to wear this mask of aggression, that truly there was a way he could be safe and reveal that sensitive side of himself, that side of himself that was a poet. He began to share more of himself. He was able to do that because he realized he wasn't the mask that he'd been wearing. There was more to him than that. Someone once said, a person is who he is in the dark. As I said in the beginning, I struggled with what does it mean to be myself? And what I came to realize is that yes, there is that of me that's the observer, that's independent of my emotions, independent of everything, and that I do have many different expressions of myself. Yes, I'm that quiet guy. Yes, I'm also that extroverted guy. Yes, I'm also that sometimes irritable guy and sometimes witty guy. Yes, all of that. I'm sometimes a warm and friendly guy, and I'm sometimes the tough, hard, standoffish kind of guy. There are different aspects of our being, but ultimately, we are God, being God as us. We're the spiritual being that can observe the masks, that can choose to put on masks at times to serve in the situation that we're in. Ultimately, we're here to discover, to be, and to express that which is most real, our unique essence. In the book, The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams, there's a dialogue that these stuffed animals are having. Real isn't how you're made, said the skin horse. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real. Does it hurt? Asked the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse, for he was always truthful. When you're real, you don't mind being hurt. Does it happen all at once, like being wound up, he asked, or bit by bit? It doesn't happen all at once, said the skin horse. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily, or who have sharp edges, or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off. And your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all. Because once you're real, you can't be ugly. Except to people who don't understand.
This next song is the title song of my 23rd album, which came out last Thanksgiving, which feels like about 10 years ago. And it is a song that is different than anything I've ever written before. And honestly, it's a song I probably couldn't have written until I'd been doing this thing that I do, whatever it is, for the last 20 plus years. I've gained some perspective on my place in the music world and in the world at large, and some understanding of why I do the thing that I do the way that I do it. So, without further ado, here is a new song about songs. I could sing about mistakes I've made, broken hearts and broken wings. I could sing about my aches and pains and the one that got away. But it seems to me the world has its hurts to spare. Shadows are everywhere. I decided I've cried enough. There's plenty of songs about tough luck. I'm gonna sing about love. Gonna sing about love and lift somebody up instead of talking about tough luck. I can't deny I still dream about the glory, the Grammy, the gold. I cannot lie, I still wish sometimes my eyes and my heart would close. But it seems to me my family escaped the war and they never sang anymore. They lost everything they had, and if a song is all I can give back, I'm gonna sing about love. Gonna sing about love and lift somebody up. I'm gonna sing about love instead of talking about tough luck. Whoa, no more tough luck. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Gonna take my cue from a few folks I look up to. I'm gonna sing about love. Stevie Wonder sings in the key of life. Bobby McFerrin says be happy, it'll be alright. Marvin Gaye showed the way to what's going on. It's a wonderful world thanks to Louis Armstrong. Soulless album saved those runaway kids. John Lennon just imagining the whole world did. John Denver took a skyward, Tina Turner to the sea. Stevie Winwood to a higher love. John Legend and Common to freedom. Pete Seeger's gonna overcome. Bob Marley just smiled at the rising sun. And an animal losing something before the moment's gone. Miss Jackson knows the knowledge is what we want. Gloria Gaynor maintained that we're gonna survive. Tim McGraw wants us to live like we are dying. Aretha got R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Bette Midler from a distance, the whole world we see. Tom Petty free falls. Leanne hopes we dance. Josh Grover raises us up. If we're hurting, R.E.M. understands. Irving B. bless the USA. Van Morrison ushered in a brand new day. Whitney sang about the greatest love of all. Johnny Nash can see clearly now the rain won't fall. Pink knows we're beautiful. Christina does too. Rihanna sees us shining like a diamond. We keep walking like the Foo Fighters. Fight the power, public enemy's head. Miley is a climber. Andy Grammer keeps his head up. Bill Withers, we can lean on him. Natasha's unwritten. Taylor Swift shakes it off. again. Lady Gaga was born this way. Jason Mraz, truly glad to be our friend today. The Black Eyed Peas wanted to wear is the love. Desiree gotta be. Journey never stopped believing enough. Simon over troubled water made a bridge. Elton John lit a candle for Diana, he did. It's the same love. Macklemore was moved to pray. Izzy made a rainbow with an ukulele. James Brown loud proud. Bruce Hornsby laid it out the way it is. Queen made us into champions. U2, Dr. King, and the power of one. Sam Cooke made you look. Change is gonna come. Peter Gabriel ain't giving up on us just yet. We are the world, save lives, no star they couldn't get. Irene Cara, what a feeling alive. Pharrell made us happy. Katy Perry lit a firework in the sky. Carole King, we got a friend. Switchfoot dared us all to move again. Paul McCartney's words of wisdom were to let it be. And the weight of the world was taken off by Aloe Black and Avicii. So what do? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sing about love. Sing about love. Lift somebody up. Instead of talking about tough luck, I'm gonna sing about love.
Daniel, way to sing about love. I enjoy that. You got to listen closely, though. He's saying a lot of cool stuff there. Thanks so much, Daniel Namhod, and also Sue Riley. Thank you for your lovely songs today as well. We trust that you are uplifted by our service today, and we see you going forth knowing the truth of your spiritual essence, your spiritual nature, being the observer of the masks that you wear, and being the observer of the masks that other people's wear, having greater understanding that you're not your masks and they're not their masks. We're all spiritual beings. We might be playing the fool sometimes, but we're spiritual beings. So let's go forward, letting our light shine, letting the love, the joy, the peace, and the uniqueness that we are, letting it flow forth in love and in joy. And so it is. Please join me in knowing the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yea, God. Now we're going to join together and sing the peace song. The words are on your screen. So let's all join together and send forth peace. Thank you for joining us this week, and we hope to see you again another time for a Unity Center live stream service. Have a great rest of the day or evening. God bless you.
Please join me in singing Let There Be Peace on Earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Thank you for joining us for a Sunday service. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more services as they go live. Click above for a list of previous services on a variety of topics. We look forward to seeing you again soon.